Hey YouTube, Maddie's Daddy 12, Team JMT, coming to you guys with the latest of the Understanding Stun segment. This one I'm going to talk about tech cards. A lot of the decks that you're running right now probably have like a standard 37, 38 cards that you know you're going to run. Well, these are the cards that you're going to choose to fill in that last little bit at the end of your deck list. That just kind of like fit your play style or fit the theme of the deck that you're trying to run, or just kind of answer your meta in a little bit better way and kind of catch your opponent off guard. Anything to disrupt your opponent is great in a stun deck, and these are some of the cards that I feel like you can choose that will do that for you. So let's get into this first little stack. First card I want to talk about is Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. An excellent choice for a meta right now, especially if your meta is extremely graveyard based. Can stop a lot of big plays like Chaos Sorcerer, Vayu, Miracle Fusion. One thing that you have to worry about when playing something like this is once they get rid of this guy, they're able to make their big pushes through their graveyard plays. This guy can also still eliminate those future plays, because when he deals battle damage, you can remove 2 monsters from the graveyard. So you can remove those 2 light monsters that they were going to use to remove to make Chaos Sorcerer, or you can remove those fairies to where, or agents to where they're not able to make Hyperion as easily. You can remove Vayu, you can remove the Geminis, the aliases or whatnot, to eliminate those plays from future turns. So Kaiku is an excellent choice. These are 2 cards I kind of wanted to talk about together. Gen X Ally Crusher and Gen X Ally Duradark. There's actually a style of stun that's out right now that focuses on these guys. Mainly Crusher, but that is, uses these guys very well. To talk about Duradark first, a lot of problems that you'll have will be with like Chaos and Gores and just big dark monsters like Shen. This guy can get over them just by using his effect. He is still an 1800 attack beater, so he's still a really good card to use just by his attack points alone. But if you're faced with a lot of Shens or something along those lines, this guy can kill Shen by his effect, and Shen cannot negate that. He can negate spells and traps, but cannot stop the effect monster's effect. So, really good card, gets over a lot of big problem, dark monsters, and is still a nice 1800 attack body also. Crusher. A lot of the cards that you run are darks already, kind of like the Kaiku. And if you normal summon them while he's on the field, you can destroy 1 card on the field. This guy pairs really well with Chaos, and also pairs really well with Breaker. You summon Breaker, destroy the card, and then pop Breaker's token to destroy a back row. Seems really good to me. So yeah, those are just a couple of cards. This guy also has a 2000 defense, so a really nice butt for you to sit behind and just wait for them to try to get past that. Not nearly as good as like Reaper as far as stun, or as far as stall. Sorry about that, but still really good card to use. Next little pile I want to talk about. I want to talk about stuff you can use to answer Reborn Tengu, and one of the best ways to do that right now is to send him back into the deck. And this is one of those cards that can do that for you. Phoenix Wing Windblast. You discard a card from your hand and put the card back on the top of the deck. You can eliminate them gaining their plus from Tengu, because Tengu does not gain the plus, or does not float if he's sent back to the deck instead of removed from the field. So really good card to use. I know you're technically negging yourself whenever you use this card, because you're ditching a card from your hand, and we don't normally use cards that are useful to us in the graveyard unless you're playing the Chaos Stun. But still, to avoid the problem of burning through your resources like smashing an attack and a bottomless or whatnot, to try to get through their Tengus, this is the one card that you can use that will set it back on the top of the deck and set them behind a turn, and give you the chance to answer the Tengu later. So there's one card that you can use. Next is Legendary Jiu-Jitsu Master. This has actually been my personal choice right now to try to answer Tengu, mainly because he has 1800 defense, and if they attack into it with Tengu, the Tengu gets placed back on the top of the deck. So just a really, really good card to use. Both can answer Tengu rather well, and both can answer synchro monsters really well. If you're facing somebody playing Tengu and they synchro before they attack with the Tengu, say they attack with Tengu, Tengu goes back to the top, and they still have to attack with the synchro monster in order to get rid of him, and you can just place that synchro monster back in the extra deck and get rid of it also. And that's why I really like the Jiu-Jitsu Master, because of the 1800 defense. Normally going to take 2 attacks to get over that because they don't know what the monster is first. They're expecting like a Raiko or something. Next, I want to talk about this little stack of cards. Agro Trampa, Agerho Trampa, Trap Hole. Once we lose our priority ruling, I feel like this card is going to get a lot better, or just as good as it was before Solemn Warning came out. I believe I was running a 1 of before Solemn Warning came out, and then when Solemn Warning came out, I of course took this out and the bottomlesses to add Solemn Warnings. But still a really good card. I feel like you should see this in side decks. Mainly, maybe not necessarily a tech choice, but you could still fit it in if you have that one spot that you need to put it. It's a really good card to answer other anti-meta decks. It's also a really good card to answer Black Wings, because you can stop their whirlwind searches and stuff along those lines. So a really good card to try out and check into it. And then next, Morphing Jar is a card. Once you start losing card advantage with stun decks, you normally lose the game. And I think G Hopper 85 said it best. And I think he was talking about his either his Gravekeepers or his Samurais. He was using this in, and he said that I don't mind giving my opponent a new 5 as long as I get a new 5, because I feel like I can outplay my opponent with the 5 that I get. So I feel like that's how I feel about this card also, is if I get in 5 new, I feel like I have a better chance of outplaying and burning through my opponent's resources than they do with my 5. So I don't mind giving my opponent a new 5 because I feel like I can outplay them with my 5. And the thing to remember is, again, once you lose card advantage, you will normally lose the game with stun. So that gives you back your card advantage as long as you can burn through your opponent's resources. Alright guys, I appreciate it. These are just some of the cards that I think you should check out to use as tech cards in your stun decks. Like always, subscribe, comment down below, show us how much you love us.